We are back on the road to City Hall, and as we reported earlier, the city's Campaign Finance Board rejected my first guest request for more than $3 million in public matching funds for his campaign for mayor. In its statement, the board said that the campaign's potential fundraising violations are, quote, serious and pervasive. Joining us now from outside his city controller's office in Lower Manhattan is that candidate for mayor, John Liu. Mr. Controller, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. I think it's $3.5 million.
$3.5 million. Well,
that's right.
What is your initial response? For a lot of people,
it's disappointing. It's disappointing that the Campaign Finance Board has chosen to not only to deny my campaign of these funds, but to deny the thousands of people who have contributed to my campaign of the leverage that their funds are supposed to bring about under the campaign finance system. We're talking about people who have donated, mostly small donations. I'm proud of the fact that I have the bulk of my donors as people who are for the very first time making a contribution to any campaign, and this is how they're being treated. So it is very disappointing, Errol.
What are your options as far as an appeal? Do you plan to take the Campaign Finance Board to court?
We are going to appeal, but the reality of it is that, and I've been told by the lawyers here, that even if we do win the appeal, that doesn't get determined until just a few days before the election. So it doesn't really give us much option in terms of getting all that the matching funds for the campaign. But on the other hand, look, we're going to continue to fundraise. And at the end of the day, the strength of my campaign is not in the money that we have. It's never been about the money. It's always been about the people, our volunteers, our donors, our supporters, people from every part of New York City.
Or do you have the option of going out and just raising money without regard to Campaign Finance Board limits, since you're not in the program in that way anymore?
I'm not sure what those options are, but I have never considered going beyond what the limits allow me to do. I have always supported the campaign finance system here in New York City, and I continue to support it. But at the end of the day, like I said before, we're getting the message out directly to the voters. I'm going to be nonstop. I'm going to have to pick up my schedule a little bit more now that we have to go all out. And you know what? When we talk about the issues, I talk about the changes that I think are necessary for New York City. We are going to win this election, and we are going to change the city.
Did you know all along that this was at least a possibility? I mean, when your campaign treasurer was convicted, the campaign finance rules suggest that, you know, the candidate ultimately is responsible for his staff members and the conduct of the fundraising.
Errol, I have been dealt body blow after body blow for the last few years in this election and in this campaign. And as much as they try to knock me down, it's not going to happen, because we're going to continue full steam ahead. We're going to talk about the issues. We're going to get the vote out. And the suggestions that the Campaign Finance Board put in their press release, I mean, it's just that. More suggestions, more innuendos, all this stuff about me, about my campaign, nothing really proven. And at the end of the day, it should be and it will be up to the voters of this great city.
On the other hand, you're going to have a harder time reaching those voters, aren't you, without that $3.5 million?
It would certainly help to have the $3.5 million, but the value of our volunteers, our support base out in the city of New York dwarfs any monetary amount that you can ask for. It is about the people, not about the money, and we're going to wage a very vociferous campaign.
Are you being singled out here, do you think, by the Campaign Finance Board?
People have theorized that I've been singled out for years now. Look, I'm not here to speculate on all the different theories, why I'm the only person that gets an undercover FBI sting operation into my campaign. I assume that they do that for everybody. But nonetheless, my campaign has been investigated now for over 4 years. 1 million documents have been reviewed. Thousands of my supporters have been interrogated, and my own phones have been tapped for 1.5 years. And by the way, not a single piece or shred of any of those phone taps or any of those records have been used to suggest that I or my folks really did anything illegal. So, at this point, Errol, what can I say? I'm proud to be the most thoroughly investigated candidate in the history of New York City.
And in our last minute, was there any point at which the Campaign Finance Board said, look, here's a list of our concerns, you need to work on these concerns or else we're going to withhold your money? Was there ever any kind of...
No, no, and there hasn't been. You know, all the other campaigns have had the benefit every 6 months as they've filed their reports, as we have filed our reports, of getting a list of questions from the Campaign Finance Board and having plenty of time to answer those questions. We got 2.5 years worth of questions just a couple of weeks ago, and we're given 8 days to respond. So according to my team, the Campaign Finance Board actually violated their own rules in not treating my campaign fairly. But look, I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. We got 5 weeks left, and there's no time to complain, no time to say all sorts of nasty things. We're going to stay positive. We're going to get the message out. I'm going to talk about how we need a real minimum wage in the city of New York. I'm going to talk about how we got to stop these corporate subsidies to big companies and instead invest the money in our own human capital in the city of New York. I'm going to talk about how we need to end stop and frisk and the racial profiling that takes place here in New York City. We've got to restore the promise of New York, which is that if you work hard, you dream big, and then you work a little harder, you can achieve great success. That promise has been lost recently, but I think we are on the cusp of restoring that because we are going to win this election and we're going to change this city.
Okay, we're going to leave it right there for now. I know you've got a lot of work ahead of you. I looked at your schedule and you've got something up until, a concert
No,
at 9 o'clock tonight.
I think it's been light somewhat.
Oh, okay.
We're certainly going to have to beef up the schedule because now we're not playing any longer.
All right, we'll leave it right there. Thanks a lot for joining us, Mr. Controller.
Thank you.
We are going to take a short break now. Still to come, we'll ask City Controller candidate Scott Stringer about his latest campaign ad, which attacks Eliot Spitzer's time as governor. And then just days after the police union endorsed her campaign for public advocate, we'll talk with Kathy Guerrero. Also tonight, we'll ask 4 top political consultants about this latest major obstacle in John Liu's campaign for mayor. Stay with us.